Something that I have always vowed, I do not want to tear down my own house by being a nagging wife.
Welcome home. I'm Eric.
I'm Erica.
And this is
Coffee and Tea with E. Welcome home.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Welcome home.
Wait, I wasn't ready.
Oh. I know you're doing ninja moves.
Oh, down. Okay.
1, 2, 3. Welcome home. Welcome home. Are you a nagging wife?
Are you?
Are you?
What about you?
We've been asked this question: what are the keys to a successful marriage? The whole reason for us having this podcast or having this conversation is to encourage families to home better.
This is our first one.
Yes, this is our first official second one since we started in 2020.
You called it a podcast.
Yes.
Wow.
That's kind of what it is.
That's special.
Yeah. Episode 1.
Thank you.
So, and our purpose is for the families just to home better.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff that goes into familying that doesn't get really discussed. And a lot of it is emotions. Like, how do you deal with your emotions? How do you deal with your perspectives? How does that all play into the topic of the day of, are you a nagging wife? And we've set up this whole conversation to really get through those journeys, how to get through those situations in life. So I have the privilege of having not a nagging wife, in my opinion.
Praise God.
However, she's not just something that just dropped out of the sky one day. This is something that she's learned and put into practice, and it has become this woman that is suitable to be in a home and to have the title, not a nagging wife. But are you? We delved into doing life together as a family. I married her because I wanted to be with her. And we got married because we wanted to be with one another. So an opportunity came and I was like, let's make this happen. So we decided to go ahead and throw caution to the wind and really embark on this journey called familying, this is my family, my wife. So how do you family? How do you live out your journey, and how do you live it better? So that's the whole purpose of this whole dynamic of what we're about.
Yeah, that's really the purpose of our lives and our life mission. I mean, we both have a heart for our youth and just the youth of the nation.
Wow, POD. Go ahead. Wow.
We really do, though. Because a lot of our isms, a lot of our ways that we get set into happens during those formative years of either feeling abandoned, confused, having circumstances happen, just all the different life that we all know as we're older that we've lived, we've experienced, we have friends that have experienced things, and we want to come in and just come alongside and help. But having a heart for the youth is so much bigger than just the one individual teenager, because they're in a family. And so we want to come alongside mama and encourage her and support her. We want to come alongside dad and encourage him and support him and help that family become more closer.
More closer. That's scientific words, PhD worthy. More closer. Like this.
Like this.
This. Like that.
Like
okay.
This.
Which leads us into our first kind of big topic is, in order to family well, what's one thing that a family absolutely just kind of has to have?
A magazine.
No, a home.
Oh,
a
yes.
home.
Okay, yes.
A family needs a home.
Yes.
Tell us a story about one of our clients.
We have a client who we helped him to buy the most cutest home that even like my kids were like, can we live here too?
Can I pause? She got this really cool fan. So let's
really
turn the
did.
fan on because it's kind of toasty.
Praise God.
All right, go ahead.
You know, thank you. Let's just put it to level 2.
All right, there you go.
All right.
Level up.
Amen. Oh, God bless you. Thank you.
I received that blessing.
Thank you. About the absolute most cutest home, we were able to help him, and I'm so thankful that we were able to help him. One thing that he was looking for in a home specifically was a home similar to what he grew up in. He grew up in a house that was on land, and his dad was able to work on all the projects and all these different things, and he wanted to emulate that. As we were helping him and looking for property which was close to his home that he grew up in, we're gonna call this in town, it just wasn't fitting. Mm-hmm. The house was cute, the house was nice, the land space was great, but something about it just didn't fit. So we knew that we had to dig into his heart a little bit more. Yep. So we started to just really talk to him a lot more. Hey, what exactly are you looking for? When you imagine, close your eyes. What exactly do you see? Let's paint this entire picture. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Because all these things really do shape a home. A home is so much more than 4 beautiful walls. So we asked him, and he began to just kind of dig up that he really wanted a nature aspect. He wanted more trees, he wanted more shrubbery, he wanted lush, he wanted
a beautiful place.
Yeah, I was gonna say adventure a little bit, where like nature met his front door. Yeah. And so we knew, well then, based on what you want.
Yeah, we ended up taking him about 30 minutes out of town.
Yep.
Than what he was planning on even considering looking at. But it fit perfectly in his price point. And he was like, oh, when we opened up the door to this beautiful house, it had like an arch, greenery arch that you walk underneath.
Deck,
pebble, what was it, brick laid out, like little pathway up to the house, a wraparound deck. It was absolutely stunning.
Gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
So we opened up the back into the house. We go and we're like, whoa, beautiful. But dude, when we get out to the backyard, what do we see?
A family of deer.
A family of
white-tailed deer, literally just right there, and the smell and the texture and the feel and the emotion and everything, hook, line, sinker. He was like, this is exactly what I've wanted and what I've been looking for. Yeah. And we were able to help him get it.
That's the house he got.
That's the house that he got.
He said, this is home.
When the home actually hits your heart,
that's the one.
Then you know you're like, you did a really good job.
Home has a feeling.
Yes.
Sometimes people have a negative feeling about home, and because they've been raised in a very, tough environment, right? It was very challenging for them. So home isn't a great place for them. When they think home, they think fear, they think scared. But when you ask them, what should home feel like? Those same people will say love and acceptance and care and warmth.
Or what do you want to create in home? When you think of home, what is it that you want to build?
The whole creating the home, wanting home, the feelings and passions of home. So we've been asked this question, what are the keys to a successful marriage? I know many other people who've been married for years who live in very challenging marriages. So what are the keys, maybe 1 or 2 keys to like, this is mandatory?
Well, see, I think this is something that we all do in general, is you're always observing your environment and you're observing the people, the places, the things around you. I remember when I first moved out of my parents' house and I went grocery shopping for the first time, like legitimately for my own house. I went to a store that I was familiar with and I was like, okay, what does my mom buy? Like, what do I picture was in my pantry or in my like spice cabinet at home? Like, what do I buy? Because I was like, oh, I'm doing this all, like feeling it for the first time. So like you observe your environment. I was a single mom for a season. So I've experienced issue in a relationship, but I've seen, like, I come from a line of like family where divorce is a common thing. One thing that I've seen just off observation, my own families, my friends' families, my friends, relationships, whatever, a nagging wife, a wife that constantly feels the need to say something about everything and make her annoyances or her angers be known all the time. Where the moment that she starts, people,
there she goes.
There she goes again. That is something that I have just witnessed to be such a detrimental thing in a relationship. And that is something that I have always vowed I do not want to tear down my own house by being a nagging wife.
Best way to put a crack in your foundation is to nag. And the nag, if you think about it, it's like a sledgehammer to the foundation of your house. And it just, I don't know if it just like, and it's like, okay, that one probably didn't break the foundation, but maybe the next time it will, you know, and it just keeps hitting. And over time, the nag, and it creates a division in the home.
Yeah. And some of that stuff, like those cracks are not always superficial, where it could just be like, you know, like it was just because, where you can make an excuse out of it. Some of that stuff is very damaging. I mean, I even think of our soul sisters and the girls, the youth girls that we communicate with, and how many of them have had estranged relationships with their mom, where it's like, why do mother-daughter have like such issues? Why is that a common thing, that mother-daughter, you know, just go at it with each other? What is it? I believe that it starts with the nagging wife.
So let's dig into that, because nagging is a very blanket word you can throw over anything, right? It's just like, oh, you're nagging me, or you're aggressive to me, or let's dial it down. And let's say, what is nagging? Where does it even come from? And I believe it comes from a place of high expectations not being delivered in the way that you thought that they should. So the way I thought that this situation should have turned out, it's not turning out the way that I intended it to. Therefore, I have something to say about it, and I'm going to correct it. It's going to be corrected, and it's going to be done the way I want it to be done, or the way I think it should be done. So if we approach that direction and say, well, man, how do I solve? Maybe I am that nagging person. It doesn't have to be just a nagging wife. Like, husbands do it too, right? They're like,
show no.
They're like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
This has got to be this way, got to be that way. That's not the way to go either. Nagging wife, nagging husband, it's manipulating someone's emotions, right? So if we pull it back and say, well, how then do I get rid of that? What do you think?
That's probably a good way to put it, is
how do you get rid of being a nag?
But the manipulation, the manipulative nature behind the nagging.
I think it comes from a place of brokenness in the person. Me personally.
Well, absolutely. I mean,
I think it comes from a place
good
of like,
things don't result in negative, and vice versa. Negative things do not birth positive. Like,
so it comes from someone
a slow
hurting.
drip over time of circumstances in life and perspective of it. One thing that I could think of, and this has been an example that I've heard in my own circles, but I've also witnessed it, and I have even had an opportunity to walk in the same path. Small example, but an example nonetheless, is, you know, you're like, oh, like, husband, I need help, or he decides to help do the dishes, either because he took it upon himself, or you asked him and he was like, yeah, sure, do the dishes, but he didn't put the cups where you normally put the cups, or the plates weren't where they were supposed to be, or, you know, the cooking utensils weren't on the countertop inside the thing. He put the ones in the drawer, and those ones don't go in the drawer. And it's an opportunity of perspective. And I think this is where the shift can come in. Perspective one, he lives here too, just like I. How does he not know better? How does he not know that clearly I have these cups here, those ones there, and the mugs there? How does he not know that those utensils do not belong in the drawer? Why can't he just do it right? And you either start slamming some drawers and I couldn't find, and where is it? Or, hey, you know, next time when you do this, you know, why would that give him any incentive or feeling of unction to want to help you again, when his help to you came off as just a hindrance? Like, it wasn't helpful at all, so what's the point?
Oh, and a guy will definitely do that. Both would do it, actually. But,
both, yes.
We're on this topic. A husband will pull back and just say, well, fine, you do it. And then you end up with the man cave, right? Because like, she has her she shed, or whatever it's called, right? But she has her own house now, and he's got the little garage and the thing, and that's where he can go, and that's where he's still helping to pay the mortgage. So it's kind of a funny situation. So, and
here's the drip system, is the teenagers feel that way too.
Yeah.
And then they isolate themselves where? In their bedrooms.
See, we don't have a garage. We do have a garage, but we don't have a man cave. This is the man cave, and this is the woman cave. Like, this is our home.
So the perspective shift on that, the help in this. If you find yourselves falling into those opportunities where it's like, and I didn't really mean to come off that way, or I didn't really, because I don't think every woman is sitting here like waiting to be a warden to her husband. Like, you didn't marry him to be his warden. So that automatically we know that that's not the nature of any of our hearts, but somehow we just fall into these incremental little things where we didn't realize how far down this road or this pathway we've gone when we never even wanted to step foot on it in the first place. So the perspective shift on it, thankfulness.
Thankfulness, gratitude.
It's like a one-word sentence with a period at the end. Thankfulness. He helped do the dishes. That is something that you either asked of him and he said, yeah, sure, or that is something that you didn't ask of him at all and he did. And that's something, regardless, that is off your shoulders, off the many things that are on a mama's shoulders to take care of in her home. Wow, he did the dishes. If there's one day a week that he helps do the dishes, or a couple days, and you have to look around for a utensil, praise God, it's washed and it's clean and you didn't have to do it. Thankfulness.
So the key to a successful marriage, and I think it's gratitude.
Yeah.
And it's, can we say it this way? It's we are together in this. We are one flesh. It's us. Mm-hmm. We. So I'm not gonna damage the other part of we. Right? You made a joke about like coming together. It's like, yeah, we're not gonna damage that side, that the two becoming close together.
Yeah.
Because it damages, and if it's one side's damaged, then we're both damaged.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, imagine this, like if we're literally one flesh, demonstration. If we're literally one flesh and I'm operating on this side and he's operating on that side, and he operated something that I didn't feel was good enough, and now I'm good.
Oh,
come on.
That wasn't good enough?
That was fantastic.
Oh.
And he did something in a way that I didn't feel was like, oh, how dare you? And it's reprimanding time. And I go and take a hammer to his fingers and say, no, that's not the way. I've damaged me. Oh. Why'd you do it like that, though?
True, though.
I've damaged myself in the process of trying to show him or prove something to him. And it hurts us in the process. It hurts
I hope that saves some relationships now, coming together.
What are your thoughts on it?
Yes, please comment below, put them in a little chat, direct message us.
He sounds so
over
official.
Here or over there.
Wow.
Wherever it's going to be. Say, what are some time-saving strategies for managing daily, like cleaning and chores? Because like you're talking about the dishes being put away properly. No?
I'm so weak.
I'll edit it out. So what are some time-saving strategies for managing daily chores and cleaning? Like in the last segment, we talked about where, the husband's putting away dishes in a proper place. But what kind of helps you to manage the whole? We have a lot of children in our house.
We do.
So how do we manage? How do you kind of manage that? How does a mom manage that, or a dad?
One thing that helps for us in our home is the perspective of it all is not going to get done in one day. So trying to push myself or put this pressure on myself of every area, or like, I just want my house, because I say this all the time, I just want my house to be clean. I do say that because I feel that way deep in my bones. Like I just like want to be able to walk into a space and like not all of a sudden like, about just stuff. Perspective. It's all not going to get done in one day. And why not? Because I choose not to. Why do I choose not to? Because my first calling and my first highest desire is not to keep my house pristinely clean. It's to take care of and spend time and enjoy my children, my family, my husband.
Me especially.
Especially. Totally. My home is much more to me than just the value of its appearance. Now, I don't want to be like living like a squalor. I do not. And I do not want to go into a room and every room I go into, I'm like mess, 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 mess. I don't like that. However, I don't like the idea more that my kids feel like they don't get my attention, that they don't get to spend time with me, that they didn't get to show me their dance, tell me their story, have us read a book together. That hurts me more.
That hurts the family more.
that hurts the family more. So I don't care ultimately that my house is not pristinely clean all the time or by the end of every day. But what we do here at home.
What we do. Although doo-doo is a thing.
What we do.
That is done in toilets. Can I dive?
Oh.
Okay, that was not a very pleasant dive.
So what we do in our home is we try to manage 3 things a day. And that includes even our kids. And with our smalls who like to be like, oh yeah, I did clean up, I put the pillow. And it's like, you know good and darn well that you got toys, that there's trash, that there's... So what has helped me in terms of saving time? Only picking a few tasks a day, completing the home in a week, and helping my children to know what is required of that space in order to account it as clean. For example, because this one's marked, it was just marked off yesterday, kitchen. How do we know the kitchen is complete? Because these areas were taken care of.
This is where you list your expectations of what you think. And if you're interested in finding out more about this, getting the PDF or whatever, that will be linked below,
or that will be PDF?
Absolutely. Or you can find that on our website, because honestly, these things right here, it's only a couple tasks of the day, so no one's overwhelmed, and your house will never be overwhelmed. My suggestion, though, as we wrap up, is that you keep your living room the thing that stays cleanest. Living room, kitchen, because that's the place where most people come, and that's the place where you're at most of the time.
Yes.
And you deal with your restrooms, your bedrooms and stuff like that, like on certain days. And that kind of breaks up the monotony of, oh, I got so much to do today.
But because of the size of our family, we are washing.
We're rolling 7 deep.
Daily. But we do.
7? How many kids?
Yeah, but we do like a load a day, and it helps, but that's one of our 3 things. And yes, you're absolutely right.
I lost track.
We got kids.
Yeah, we're pregnant.
We're pregnant.
Yeah.
We'll have the 6th one in the house by the end of the year.
2 are out the house, and 6 are in this mother.
And 6 are up in this mother.
Literally.
Plus the 2 of us, so we have 8 in this house. That's 8 bodies.
So understanding the we and understanding the us and the family is so valuable.
It is.
We have opportunities every single moment of the day to lose our ever-living minds.
Oh yes, plenty.
But what
of opportunities?
What keeping the right perspective dissolves whatever the drama would be, and having that is vital to your marriage. That would help you prevent to be either a nagging husband or a nagging wife. You know what I mean?
Vital to not only our marriage, but to all of our relationships, and being parents, our discipleship and what's required of us is to teach and train our children. So how are we teaching and training them? Not just by the things that we say, but by our actions and what they're observing, because we all are observant beings. So what are we teaching our children? Nagging is not just damaging to marriage, is damaging to the whole household.
It's damaging to your neighborhood.
Wow.
It's damaging to your community.
Wow.
Because you influence your community.
That's deep.
Word.
So you've enjoyed our time.
Hope you enjoyed your time. Hope you enjoyed the conversations. And
chime in.
Yeah, please. What do you think are the keys for a successful marriage? And are you the nagging spouse? Let's find out. Next time we'll talk about something different. I don't want to say what it is.
But it's different.
It's different.
It's differently different.
It's going to hit different. Oh, get ready. Like and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and all the other different things, because you're going to like this next topic we're talking about. It's a doozy. It's going to ruffle some feathers. Let's go.
Well, can't wait to see you next time so we can say,
Welcome home. Nice.
Very good. You're number 1.